Hello everyone. Good afternoon and welcome back to BYJU'S exam prep. I hope everyone is doing very good today and I hope you can hear and see me very clearly. Let's do a quick tech check and then we're going to proceed with our session today. Our very first session on the series that I'm starting off on this channel. एक बार जल्दी से let me know that you can hear and see me clearly. And by the time more people join in, since I'm taking a class after a pretty long time on this specific channel, let me introduce myself to all of you. My name is Alpa Sharma. I am sure you've seen that on the thumbnail already. And I have been predominantly teaching verbal ability, English, critical reasoning, and a bit of logic for the last 13 plus years. I have had varied experience teaching for various examinations, predominantly CAT and CLAT. So I'm going to be using this experience to help you get through this examination, and you're going to see me more often now on. Though I've been associated with BYJU'S exam prep for the last 4.5 years, 5 precisely. And yet intermittently I've been taking classes on this channel, so I'm going to be back and be more frequent with my classes here. I hope you can hear and see me clearly, everyone. So I'm going to be starting off with a series on this channel, and the first part is going to happen today where we're going to be doing some important parajumbles questions. Then gradually we're going to be picking up odd sentence out, and summary based questions, main theme based questions, and gradually we'll pick up more of grammar, more of RCs as well. So today's class focuses predominantly on important parajumbles questions that you should have solved before you take this examination, CAT 2024. Start करते हैं आज के सेशन के साथ. The agenda, of course, is that we're going to solve parajumbles questions. But then only solving questions is not the agenda that we're going to follow today. So let me speak to you for a couple of minutes. Let me make it clear to you, and then we're going to proceed solving questions. See, parajumbles predominantly is going to be asked for 4 sentences type question. So you'll be given 4 sentences labeled as 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay. And these are going to be the only teeter type questions that you have here. So you are going to be asked to arrange the 4 sentences in a logical order where the entire set of sentences make sense. They will be sentences usually from the same paragraph, but certainly from the same passage. Okay, and you'll be asked to arrange them. Type the correct order in the blank given to you. For every correct answer, you'll be awarded a correct score. But for every incorrect answer, the good part is there is no negative marking. So that's a win-win for us because you don't have to actually leave such a question. 2, this kind of question takes up lesser amount of time as compared to the RC, reading comprehension questions that you have. To be able to get one reading comprehension correct, you have to read the entire passage. And then you're supposed to answer the main theme based question or inference based question. But here you don't have to read an entire passage for that. You're able to read the 4 statements. You're able to make a coherent sequence there. You're going to get a correct score. Of course, it's a tricky one because you do not get options. So I hope you get some clarity about the kind of questions that come up. The idea today is that we pick up questions, and through questions we try to learn some techniques that we can use to get the correct sequence out. So with each question that we solve, I'll try to explain some techniques to you that you should be using. By applying them consistently over and over again, it's very likely that you're going to be getting a correct sequence altogether. Now, I want to know something from all of these 8 people watching me live right now. Do you get these questions correct? When you solve them, are you able to frame an entire sequence correctly? I'm sure you've seen such questions in the previous year papers coming up. You've solved all the papers as well. I'm assuming you've solved such questions, ample number of them. Let me know, are you able to get the sequence correct? क्या sequence आप बना पाते हो और नहीं बना पाते? So what is the accuracy that you get? How many questions correctly are you able to solve? How many questions do you get incorrect? 50% questions गलत होते हैं, 80% questions सही होते हैं. What is the score that you get? If I know more about your scores, I'll be able to address that in a better manner. So I'm going to wait for that till I have a sip of water, and I'll want to know or precisely. ठीक है, do you get them correct? Hi guys, एक बार ये भी बता दो ना, am I audible and visible? If I'm not audible and visible, then I'm going to probably restart the session. Okay, so I'm assuming since nobody has answered, I'm going to assume you get none of these correct or all of them correct. If you get all of them correct, very, very good. But if you don't, this session is for you. Be very focused here. We're going to learn a lot of techniques. If you are not given options, it's a tricky part to make the entire sequence of the statements that are given to you. Okay? But step by step, you can get very close to the correct answer. What are these steps is what we're going to be discussing along with the questions that we solve today. But uske pehle, have a fair idea of how are these questions created. When you know how are these questions created, it's going to be easier for you to frame a sequence as well. Okay. So if I am to create a parajumble question, I might pick up one paragraph. Listen to me very carefully, okay? I might pick up one paragraph and pick up the first four statements. I'll jumble them up and then create the correct answer. Okay, I'll jumble them up in any manner I want to. But is it a compulsion that I pick up only one paragraph and the first four statements only to be able to create a parajumble question? I'll reiterate. Is it a compulsion that I pick up the first four statements of only one paragraph and create a parajumble question? Is it necessary? What do you think? It is not. It is not a compulsion. I might pick up actually the last four statements as well and make up a parajumble question. I might skip one paragraph altogether and pick up one statement from each paragraph of a passage that has four paragraphs, 4 or 10, any number of paragraphs. But I might pick up one statement from one single paragraph and create a parajumble question. That also has happened in the history of CAT. So difficulty level may vary as per examinations, as per year to year when the paper is conducted. But there is no compulsion that I pick up statements from one paragraph. There is no compulsion that I pick up the first four or the last four only. I might pick them up from different paragraphs and then arrange them in any order I want to. So we're going to keep that in mind, okay, while we solve the questions. Now let's talk about the steps. Hi Harshita, good to see you. Good to see your message. Okay, so Harshita, does it make sense? Right? कि कैसे create करते हैं हम questions? How do we create them? How does an examiner create them? Now, I'm going to be asking you to solve a question. Let's do a warm up. Okay, I'm going to be asking you to solve a question. I want to see your answers in the chat box with whatever sequence you come up with. And then I'm going to be coming up with the first technique that I want all of you to practice over a certain period of time. So let's do the question first, and then we're going to talk about all of that. कि क्या technique है, क्या तरीका है, how do we proceed with it, how do we get them correct. We're going to talk about all of that. But then remember, this is one kind of question that you should certainly attempt. Give it time, practice a little, and you're going to get this correct for sure. So here we go with the very first question. Read the statements and arrange them in the order you think is correct. Give this a try. You sequence in the chat box. Answers, guys. Okay, Vivek has an answer. All right. 4213. Okay. 4312. Okay. Assuming that you think 4 is the opening statement. All right. 4321. 4321. Okay. Everyone thinks 4 is the opening statement. Okay. Is it a compulsion that we get an opening statement in any parajumble question? The answer is a clear no. But this is one of the many techniques we use to answer parajumble correctly. एक बात याद रखना मेरी, since such a question doesn't have options, it's a theta type question. Since it doesn't have options, the first way of proceeding with such a question, and you can write that down, okay, is to always find mandatory pairs. What are mandatory pairs? I think 4 and 2 will come together. I think 4 and 3 will come together because of XYZ logic. And there are many reasoning that we can apply to finding a mandatory pair. It could be noun-pronoun sequence, it could be generic to specific, it could be linear arrangement, it could be sequential timing, it could be anything, okay? But I need to find two statements that come together. Instead of making an entire sequence, if I bit by bit break the paragraph into two statements coming together, more two statements coming together, I'm only left with one. So for example, I think 4 and 3 will come together, 2 and 1 will come together. Okay, then I will finally arrange them. कि 4 3 कहाँ आएगा, 2 1 कहाँ आएगा, will 2 1 come in the beginning or 4 3 come in the beginning? I can arrange them. Okay, and if 3 and 2 make a mandatory pair, this is the sequence that I have. So the easiest way of getting them correct is to make pairs first. Alternatively, the first pointer was to make a mandatory pair. The second was to look for opening or closing statements. In this set, since all of you have answered all the statements, all the sequences beginning with 4, I'm assuming you guys could figure out that 4 is going to be my opening statement. Let's check out if it actually is my opening statement. With that, I can bit by bit come closer to the entire sequence that we've made. 4 says, why are some crimes destined for perpetual re-examination? People keep thinking about it over and over and over again. For example, the Talwar case, right? And then there are some logged into permanent obscurity. Nobody even talks about them. People forget it. And how can you define which crime will last forever? People will keep talking about it. And then there are some crimes that people don't even care about. That means there is a clear demarcation here. It introduces you to some kind of cases, two different categories of cases. Let's check out one. What precisely are the unusual elements that make a particular case so attractive to a certain kind of audience? I have two questions in my paragraph. Pay attention, everyone. When I have questions in my paragraph, if the question is answered, the question will come in the beginning. If the question is not answered, it will come in the end. Understand how? I say, what are your scores in the mocks? You send me an answer. Of course, the preceding one will be my question, which will be followed by the correct answer. But I can counter question the entire paragraph as a closure. It can come in the end without an answer. Let's understand how. You say, ma'am, I work really hard. I have been practicing a lot of mocks. I've been solving a lot of questions. What should I do? My scores aren't improving. And then I counter question. Have you been analyzing your mocks? Full stop. The paragraph ends there. Have you been analyzing your mocks? Hasn't been answered. And this is a counter question on all the information already given to me beforehand by you. If a question, I'll reiterate, is answered, it will come in the beginning and the answer will follow. But if the question is unanswered, it will come in the end. Now let's check out if these two questions were actually answered in the paragraph. Some crimes perpetually living, some crimes become obscure. And another question, what are the elements that make one case attractive and the other less attractive? Which kind of case is more attractive? The one that goes for perpetual re-examination. What cases become more attractive for people? The ones that go through perpetual re-examination. And these are the two questions. Are they answered in the paragraph? Yes or no? Are they answered in the paragraph? Let me know that from you. Are these two questions answered in the paragraph? Do 2 and 3 answer these two questions? Okay, I'll wait for your answers. Think. What does statement 2 do? Yes. These two questions are answered. Statement 2 tries to find an answer to it. Let's understand how. Okay. So this line says people perpetually re-examine some cases. And what could be the reason why they become so attractive? The reason, these are the elements. It is a pronoun that refers to the reason why people find some cases more attractive than others. The reason could be a particularly savage or unfathomable level of depravity. Very often it has something to do with the precise amount of mystery involved. So people find some cases more attractive than others because there is the mystery involved in them. So 4, 1, 2. Let's see if 2 and 3 make a mandatory pair or not. 2 tries to answer it. Okay? 3 says unsolved and perhaps unsolvable cases offer something ordinary murder doesn't. When I talk about the line unsolved, does it refer to the mystery already mentioned? Because there is a tinge of mystery involved in some cases, which the author thinks might be the reason for the attraction. So attraction है, क्यों है? क्योंकि mystery involved है. और यही mystery जो कि unsolved है, that makes one case ordinary and one case more interesting and attractive. So our correct sequence was 4, 1, 2, 3. Convinced? Yes, 2 tries to answer. Correct, Harshit. So I think none of you got that correct yet. You were very close to the correct answer. And that's how you begin the journey of getting parajumbles correct. What were the two reasons, two logics we worked upon? One was finding an opening or a closing statement. We could find an opening one here, which was 4 for sure. One step closer to the correct answer. 2, I tried to find a mandatory pair. What are mandatory pairs? There are various reasons associated with your ability to find a correct mandatory pair. With each question that we solve, I'll be talking more and more and more about how can you find a correct mandatory pair. तो यहाँ एक first reason देखते हैं. It might be particularly savage. What might be? It is a pronoun. It must be used for some noun already mentioned. I need to figure out what does it refer to. 2, we also could find another mandatory pair as 1 and 2 because 2 tries to answer 1. 4 and 1 also is a sequence because both are the questions that are being answered in the paragraph. So 4 and 1 will come together, 1 and 2 will come together. 2 and 3 will also come together because mystery and unsolved are interrelated words. So they're interrelated statements as well. So when you proceed with solving parajumbles, instead of outrightly jumping onto the correct sequence, 4, 1, 2, 3 correct sequence hai, you take baby steps. Okay? Because I'm assuming you've just started off preparing. You still have a lot of time in your hands, and with the correct technique, you're going to reach that place. Okay? So does this make sense, everyone? Yes and no. Jaldi se answer karo. Let me know. Does it make sense? Before we proceed to the next question, we're going to follow those baby steps. Finding the opening or finding a mandatory pair. I think these two come together according to me. You can only answer those mandatory pair sequence also to me, even if you're unable to make the entire sequence. Yeah, it makes sense. Also, now before I proceed, there is a Guru Dakshina that I charge. And every class I'm going to be charging that. I will not proceed without charging the Guru Dakshina. So when you learn from a Guru, you need to repay the Guru. And your way of repaying me would be hitting the like button and subscribing to the channel if you haven't done that yet, and sharing the video, spamming all the groups that you're in. Instagram, WhatsApp, Telegram, whatever groups you're in, spam. Bhej do sab jagah. Alpa ma'am padha rahi hai. She's the best teacher in the world. Share it with, but at least hit the like button. Thank you if you've done that already. Nahi to paap lagega dekho. So do that right now. Okay. Our correct sequence 4, 1, 2, 3. Now we're going to proceed with the next question. A reminder, we're going to take baby steps. We will look for the opening statement, but if you're confused, don't work on that. Work on mandatory pairs. Two statements that you think will come together. Let's come here and do the next question. All the best. Thank you, Harshit. One, two, four, three. Okay. One, four, two, three. Okay, let me give you 1, 4, 3, 2. Most of you think one is the opening statement because obviously it has the name Veena Sahajwala. Let's take this into consideration. And then we have her and she. So we know that 2 and 4 have to come after 1. That means my opening could be 1 or 3. So forget 2 and 4. Reread 1 and 3 and see out of these two which will be the first statement. Reconsider your answers, everyone. Okay. Okay. Some of you actually now think 3 is going to come before 1. Ayushi and Abhishek do. Others, reconsider. 2 and 4 will come after 1 only, we know. So they can't be the opening. 1 or 3, which one do you think is the opening? Forget the sequence. Now, Harshit, you've changed your answer. See, That's why I said take baby steps. Don't try to make an entire sequence in the first go. Bit by bit. Break kar karke. Okay. So we know 1 and 3, either of it will be my opening. Let's check out 3. E-waste contains huge quantities of valuable metals, ceramics, plastics that could be salvaged and recycled, although currently not enough of it is being recycled. The current situation is we are not recycling enough of it. There is a new way of solving this problem. What problem? The problem of it not being recycled. You missed the fact that we have a pronoun in statement number 1, which is addressing the problem mentioned here. What is the problem that she is trying to solve? The problem of enough metals not being recycled mentioned in 3. So 3 and 1 makes our first mandatory pair. Okay, now let's see who got that correct. Ayushi and Abhishek and Harshit in the second attempt did that pretty well. Now let's figure out of 2 and 4. 2 and 4 will make a mandatory pair, either 4 or 2 or 2 and 4. Focus which out of these two will come before the other. 2, 4 will be my sequence or 4, 2 will be my sequence. Which one? Think again and answer it in the chat box. You want to reconsider your answer, Ayushi and Abhishek? Or Harshit? What's your answer? What do you think should be the sequence? 2, 4 or 4, 2? I'll wait for your answers. Otherwise, it's going to be a very boring class if you don't answer, don't reply. I'll get bored. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए ना? Okay, Vivek says 2, 4. 2, 4 because first she will have a vision and then she will plan it. Ayushi, let me give you a counter argument. Okay. What are the components she's referring to here? Think. What are the components? Wait. She's referring to here. The components that she's trying the robots to pick out are the components mentioned here. Tangle of materials in mobile phones, computers, and e-waste. She is going to build microfactories. The job of the microfactories will be to take out the tangles of material. This tangles of material is what the robots will pick out as components. First, she will build a factory, a microfactory. Then she will ask the robots and drones to pick out the components mentioned in the previous one. Then she will ask them to put them into a small furnace, smelt them, and then go on with whatever she wants to do with them. So first, she will build a microfactory, looking out for tangles of material. Then she will ask the robots to pick out the same material mentioned in the previous one. That means the sequence should be 4 and 2. Plus we had 3, 1. Yeah, you got that now, but it is also mentioned in 3 like valuable metals. Where will you find them? Vivek? In the tangle material only, right? Exactly. So this is what they're looking for. So we know that 3, 1 will start off the paragraph. It will continue with 4 and 2. So again, the correct sequence is 3, 1, 4, 2. But how did we find that? By breaking it up. Instead, I'll repeat, instead of going on for the entire sequence with one go, since we are practicing and we are in no hurry and we want to get our concepts clear, concept is never done with speed. Never. It should never be done with speed. Focus on understanding the basic principles of getting this fundamental correct. And trust me, parajumbles is one of the most logical questions that you might find in the verbal ability section. Most logical. Every answer will be backed with a logic. Why this? Because of this. You find the logic, you understand the basic principle. You bit by bit make sequences like mandatory pairs or opening statement or closing statement. Only then you arrange them in the order. Always when you do parajumbles, sit with a pen and paper. Don't do it just mentally. When you're practicing, at least. When you're doing it time bound, you could do it mentally as well. But it's easy for us to write it down like I'm writing it for you and then proceeding like I'm highlighting things for you. Okay? So I hope everyone is convinced. Yeah, it is a very good question. Yes. That's why this session is named as important parajumble questions you have to do. By the way, do you know when did this question come up? It appeared in 2022 CAT. I'm not really sure of the slot, but 22 CAT question. Nonetheless, let's proceed. Let's do one more question, okay? And remember, bit by bit. Here you go. A little tricky. Take your time. I've given you some hint, okay? Okay, Ritesh says 13241. Okay. One, two, four, three. Okay, let me give you one more hint. Can you short identify the opening statement in this sequence? Are you sure? Or multiple statements can look like opening ones here. If multiple statements look like the opening ones, you probably shouldn't work on that then. Don't try to find the opening one. Try to find pairs. When you find pairs, you can easily arrange them even without focusing on the opening statement. Don't focus on opening statement. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's first check out the most easy statement that we can actually work upon. Third, because this starts off with a pronoun. This is not always the case. What is not the case? What is it trying to counter? Basically, the statement here acts like my pen isn't working. Oh, whoa, whoa, wait. Something's wrong, guys. 1 minute. Let me reconnect. Oh, I did not do this. It's happening on its own. Nonetheless, I have to explain this to you. Okay, give me a minute. I'll have to fix my pen tab. Give me a second, guys. You know the correct answer now, but next time I'm going to remove that slide and come. Okay, that's our correct answer. But forget it. Let's work on third. Okay, this statement actually that this is not the case always acts like but. But means there is a contradiction. Whatever this means is opposing something else mentioned. Let's understand statement number 3. Remote work does not automatically lead to greater creativity. He is criticizing the fact that remote work from home, does not necessarily mean greater creativity. It's a negative statement. 1, 2, and 4. Are they promoting creativity from work from home? Basically, 1, 2, and 4, are they promoting work from home or are they against work from home? Answer that. 1, 2, and 4. Are they promoting work from home or opposing work from home? I'll assume that, Harshit. 1, 2, 4. All the 3 statements, are they promoting work from home or opposing? Company leaders also want work from home, at least shorter commute. 2 also talks about shorter commute being good. 4 also talks about long commute and reducing productivity. So commute-free arrangement is what employees also need. That means 1, 2, and 4 are promoting work from home. 3 contradicts that. 3 says, nahi, zaruri nahi hai, not necessary. That work from home means greater creativity. That's not always the case. That means 3 has to come in the end. After, basically, when you talk about good about something, एक साथ अच्छा अच्छा mention करोगे. When you write up an essay in school, you used to write that, or a debate. In an essay, you would write good things in one paragraph, bad things in one. You would club them together, right? Here also, you're supposed to do the same. Good things together, all the good things together, and then you counter question that. This is the counter question. That means 3 has to come in the end. It will come after all the good things you've mentioned. Then you say, but, listen to me, dude. That's not always the case. It doesn't work like that, that you've been believing into 1 and 4. I'm going to counter question your belief into 1 and 4. So 3 has to come in the end. Okay? Understood, everyone? Yes, 3 has to come in the end. Now let's check out a few things that I've highlighted. Okay? This talks about commuting longer. This also talks about commuting longer. Read 1 and 4 together. Let's see if that makes a pair. Company leaders also want commuting to be shorter because the productivity is less when commuting grows longer. And similarly, the employees also are supporting it. They see the link between long commute that is mentioned here and productivity that is mentioned here. And that's why they want commute-free arrangements. So you introduce commuting longer associated with productivity loss, and then you talk about the link. That means 1 and 4. My pen tab is not working yet. I'll explain this. I have no idea what's happening. Okay. So 1 and 4 will come together. 3 will come in the end. Okay. So I'll remove all this. 1, 4 coming together. 3 coming in the end. I'm only left with 2. So I have to place 2 either here or here. Either of the 2 places. Now let's check out if 2 will come after 4 or it will come in the beginning. What do you think? Will 2 come after 4 or in the beginning? Does it look like an opening 1 to you now? He says shorter commutes support innovation. It gives employees more time, lesser physical strain, and that's why some companies are basing their decision on locating the offices to offer innovation and growth. Why are they basing their decision? Because of the reason mentioned in 2. Shorter commutes supports innovation. It gives more time to the employees. And the reason is this. That's why the company leaders are basing their decision. That means it has to come in the beginning. It cannot come here. Now we have our sequence. Did you see how we went there bit by bit, step by step? That's how we're supposed to do that. I'd got 5 questions for you, but of course the time doesn't permit us to do that. But before winding up the session, if you're watching it recorded, I would want you guys to comment under my video with a little thank you note if you think you were helped with the session and if you want more sessions or any queries that you have, any topics that you want me to take up, mention them under my video in the comment section. Everyone who's watching me live, do not leave the class without hitting the like button, and you also need to comment under my video with the topics that you want me to take up in the future. I'm going to be here for a long, long time. So before I wind up the class, we have an MHC specialized course that we've launched. Comes for a very, very nominal cost. Make sure you register yourself right away. The link to it is there under my video in the description box. We have a workshop happening by Srinivas sir, who's going to be talking about anything and everything about CAT. MBA, why, how, when, very interactive one. Make sure you attend that live on 3rd of March, 11 a.m. But registration is mandatory beforehand. Make sure you do that. That also, the link is there under my video in the description box. We have a scholarship test happening on 10th of March, 11 a.m. Don't miss out on that. We have thousands of scholarship to offer to you. So, I didn't get your question, Vivek. How can we directly identify sentences? I didn't get you. Can you elucidate a little? Thank you, Harshit. How can we directly identify? I didn't get it. I'm so sorry. If you're asking how do we find mandatory pairs, we're going to talk more about that in furthermore sessions. But I believe Vikrant sir already has taken a couple of sessions on basics of parajumbles. The videos are saved on our channel. Find them, revisit them. Okay, starting one, yes, I'll talk about that. Starting one usually is one that introduces you to the idea that is being discussed in the whole passage. When you pick up any storybook, any school textbook, college textbook, it will start off with a generic statement introducing you to the whole idea. And then the following statements and paragraphs will be more detailed, getting into every ounce of statement, every ounce of information given to you. So the first statement usually will be generic, will sound more like an introduction to the theme discussed in the whole passage. That's how you find the opening statement. Okay. So scholarship test, you need to register yourself beforehand, 10th March, 11 a.m. Don't miss out on that. Our last lab to MHCD starts today. 7 p.m. is the first class. I think that's Vikrant sir's class. Don't miss out on that. It's a power-packed session every day, 7 p.m. make sure you catch us live. And our specialized course has loads of classes for MHCET, recorded classes, pre-recorded asynchronous videos, mock tests, practice questions. Do that right away. We don't have a lot of time left. Our CAT College Predictor is there on our app based on your profile. Check that out right now. Download the app and see which college are you going to get. Any doubts? You can fill out the form under my video in the description box. Some member from my team is going to give you a call and help you out with the doubts that you have. Make sure you hit the like button and follow us on all social media handles, Instagram, Facebook, Telegram. Make sure you have our app as well on Google Play. That's going to be all for today, everybody. I shall see you very, very soon. Logical reasoning session, Suyog. Okay. Done deal. Have a very good evening, everyone. God bless you.